Hey everybody, you're listening to the BTW Media Podcast, the show that explores the stories, innovations, and insights for people who love technology and the internet.
Hi everyone, join me now is Michel Geensen, Customer CTO for the Dutch market at Nomios. At this year's TNC, Michel shared insights into GÉANT's decision to transition its international IP backbone from Juniper to Nokia hardware, with Nomios playing a key role in this ambitious migration.
Hi everyone, I'm Faye. Michel, thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Could you please give us a short self-introduction?
Hi all, I'm Michel Geensen. I work with Nomios. We're a Dutch system integrator, and within Nomios I have multiple hats on. So one of the hats which I have on is the customer CTO for the Dutch market and also manage the pre-sales team. Last role was actually why I was involved in this GÉANT project.
Today, I've provided you 4 questions in total. And the first one to begin, GÉANT selected Nokia to replace its Jupyter-based international backbone, a major move in terms of scale and strategy. From your perspective, what were the key technical or strategic reasons behind choosing Nokia for this infrastructure upgrade? And how did Nomios come to be selected as a key delivery partner?
GÉANT is publicly funded money, so they did a tender according to European law. And these tenders have rules, like for instance, how much points do you get for answering specific questions? How many points do you get for having the best price? And we did a good collaboration together with Nokia to score maximum points on all the topics where we could. One of the advantages was that Nokia at that point in time had the best technical solution, which was the best fit for GÉANT. And together with Nokia, we managed to really get this down on paper. So we got the maximum points on a lot of these questions. And that's at the end why we got selected.
Okay, can you tell us more about how the partnership between Nomios and Nokia was structured for this project? Specifically, what role does Nomios play in the development from equipment integration to technical support and coordination with GÉANT?
That's a great question. From a technology, if you split it into parts, the role which Nokia basically does is they create the equipment and they deliver the equipment to us, to Nomios. From there on, we take it over. So we, together with GÉANT, we created the designs, we created the configs for these nodes, and Nomios did the whole rollout across Europe. So we went to all the sites, we did site discovery or site inventory. We figured out what needed to be changed on these sites. We rolled out the equipment to these new sites. We did the cabling on these sites. We took the pictures of all the cabling and all the labeling, and we handed that over back to GÉANT.
Okay, that is really profound one. Infrastructure migration at this scale is never simple. How was the migration process planned and faced to minimize disruption?
Well, the way, together with GÉANT, we figured out what would be the best way to migrate this is, if you look at the single site, because the GÉANT network is connected all over Europe. So they have nodes on each of these major European hubs. And the challenge with that is that these nodes don't have any capacity left or hardly any capacity left. So the first step which we always did on each of these sites is that we deployed a new Nokia node and we connected it with a low capacity link to the existing Juniper node, just to connect it to the network. Make it part of the routing domain. And from there on, we started migrating the connections to the other locations, to the other cities. And by doing this, we freed up capacity on the original Juniper nodes. And we could use this capacity to increase the capacity between the Nokia and the Junipers and to expand capacity for the existing customers connected to the Junipers. After we migrated all these trunks, as we call them, to the new Nokia nodes, the next step was to migrate all the client connections to the Nokia nodes. But for this, we required automation and to be finished by GÉANT, because GÉANT, one of the rules which GÉANT dictated from the start is they didn't want to have an operator configuring the box manually. It all needed to be automated. But there was a lot of automation effort in this. And that's also why the project was split into 2. So first we did what we call the trunks, and the next step was the clients. And at the moment we're still in the middle of the client migration, and we're waiting also for GÉANT to finish all their automation effort in this. At the moment we've done 12 sites fully migrated. We've taken out the Junipers. The Nokias are in. Most of the other sites, we deployed all the nodes. That was already for some time to free up capacity. And we migrated all these trunks. And we're waiting for each time for the migration steps on the GÉANT end until we can do a next site. And the current plan is that we'll be finishing the migration later this year.
Okay, Michel, I wonder what kind of technical or operational challenges have you encountered so far and how are they being addressed?
The largest challenge, but it was more from a planning perspective. We had to wait on the GÉANT with the automation. I totally agree with the strategy because the moment you don't do the automation at the start, you're never going to do it proper. So it's a good approach, but it really delayed the whole rollout of the project. I think there was one large hurdle. Another hurdle was that there was not that much Nokia knowledge at the start at GÉANT. So we did a lot of training. We got expert trainers who can do this. And we trained the GÉANT people because after a node has become part of the operational network, it needed to be handed over back to GÉANT because they are managing their own network. So that was another hurdle. But yeah, I think we covered most of such hurdles. We had some challenges also sometimes with delivery equipment onto the things are, this is all across Europe, right? So you have laws, slightly different laws, how the way you treat, for instance, VAT, taxes and things like this. And this, for some of these sites, we needed to figure this out together with GÉANT. But yeah, all these hurdles have been taken. So yeah, it's moving along quite nicely at the moment.
Yeah, that is fantastic. And last question for you, looking beyond this rollout, how do you think this project might serve as a model for other research and education, network planning, major upgrades? Are there any key takeaway or best practice from this collaboration that you believe are worth sharing with the wider RNE infrastructure community?
Yeah, one of the things which GÉANT did really proper, I think, in their tender is they required that, or they gave bonus points if the party who would roll out the new network could also support the previous network. So what we did on day one, after the contract was signed, we took over the support contract for the existing network because we're not just rolling out the equipment. The moment there's an issue with the equipment, they need to be able to call someone as well to help them to fix the issue. So we took over the support contract for the Juniper network while we're in parallel rolling out the Nokia network. So for GÉANT, it was really clear who they needed to call. And this is something I think more companies, more other entrants could do in a similar way. Just pick a party who can support not just your new vendor, but also your old vendor. And it's not just, doesn't just make sense from an operational perspective, but it also makes sense from a technical perspective. The moment you need to convert configs from, I don't know, Cisco or Arista or whatever brand you have, Juniper, to a Nokia or whatever brand you select, you want a person who is knowledgeable in both vendors. So you can do a proper translation, you can do the troubleshooting if something doesn't work, because it's never going to be a big bang for a complete network. So you're going to be stuck with multiple vendors when you do such migrations. So pick a party who can support both of them. And that is really, I think, one of the key reasons why this project was a success.
That's true. Okay, thank you, Michel. This has been the valuable look inside one of the most important infrastructure transition happening in the R&D space right now. Your insights into the Nomios, Nokia, GÉANT partnership and what it takes to deliver at this scale are sure to resonate with many in the global networking community. Thanks again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us for another episode.